Hey guys, it is Thursday. It's almost the end of the week. Getting ready for the weekend. I thought it'd be a good idea just to kind of talk a little bit more about fat. And, is fat bad for us? Will fat make you fat? Simply put, the answer is no. So let's talk about, why, fat is vilified in the eyes of most people. So in the 1980s, in an attempt to vilify fat, the World Health Organization actually put out statements and guidelines saying that saturated fat has been linked to cause cardiovascular disease, cancers, just to name a few, and an increase in obesity. But that's actually simply not the truth. So I'm here to tell you about the recent research on fat and what exactly is the bad fat. So there's three types of fat that we're going to talk about. So saturated fat tends to be the one that was vilified, but we're going to actually talk about that. So what is saturated fat? Fat can be broken down. It's built up by fatty acids or lipids. Think about like the mini structure. But because of the chemical structure of fat, that's how we're able to kind of distinguish whether it's saturated or it's unsaturated. So we're going to talk a little bit about, first off, saturated fats. So with saturated fats, this is the stuff you want to use for cooking, right? This is like your coconut oil, your palm oil. It's actually also found in your cream and your cheeses, your butter, your ghee. Those are saturated fats. Unsaturated fats, think of, there's two different types of unsaturated fats. Polyunsaturated fat and monounsaturated fat. So polyunsaturated fat is like your essential fatty acids. So think about omega-3 and your omega-6 fatty acids. This is important because it's essential and your body does not produce it. So we have to find it in food. Typically you could find this in walnuts, salmon, Alaskan wild salmon. You could find it in a lot of fish products, these type of fatty acids, which will help with your nervous system health and also your cardiovascular. So you need this and you have to get it from food. So that's not bad, right? You need that. But you don't want to use it for cooking. Number two, the other unsaturated fat is monounsaturated fat. So this is the type of fat that you find in red meats, right? Like your bison, your beef. You'll also find it in avocados, right? We love avocados. We know it's the healthy type of fat for you. So obviously unsaturated fat is what we need. We don't use it to cook per se. Actually, olive oil is made up of like 75% monounsaturated fat. So where is the problem? The problem lies in this type of fat, hydrogenated fat. The word hydrogenated means that these manufacturers, when they're making their foods, they blast the fat with chemicals. And so this disrupts the structure, the actual structure of the fat. So here's an interesting thing. It creates a man-made saturated fat. What does that mean? So when you eat this, they actually replace the normal saturated fat in your cells with, and sometimes even essential fatty acids, with their own version of saturated fat in the body. Now this is the bad fat because this is processed, man-made fat, saturated fat. And in the body, it's poisonous in your cells. And this is what has been linked to cardiovascular disease, different forms of cancer. So that's why we want to avoid it, processed foods, right? And so when it comes to the fats, we want to look at organic, free-range, wild-type meats, or extra virgin olive oil, or wild Alaskan salmon, stuff like that, to make sure it's as clean and as fresh as possible so that we get high quality. So the quality is of utmost importance if we're looking to get healthy fats in our body. Now, typically, I think the general recommendation is more percentage based. It's about 30% of your daily caloric intake. And what does that mean? For general health, about 30% of your daily caloric intake should be from fat. So it's more percentage based as opposed to eat this many macros of fat, because there's so many factors that play into how much fat you need to intake: your gender, your height, your weight, your activity level, your hormone, your metabolic health. All of those things affect how much fat you need to intake. Now, for fat loss, if someone's looking for fat loss, I'd recommend 20 to 40%. And again, you want to track this depending on how you feel, right? And remember, we're going for high quality fats. And then also, one of the benefits of fat is there's about 9 calories per gram of fat. So it's real energy rich. So there's a lot of energy, which means that you don't require much fat to feel full. So you'll feel satiated, you'll feel fuller longer. So you eat less of it. And then also there's a lot of energy, and it's one of the most energy dense macronutrients in your body. And we say macronutrients meaning your protein, your fats, and your carbohydrates. So guys, that's a little bit about fat. And just to clear up the confusion that fat's not bad for you, we want high quality fat, which is what we want, and stay away from hydrogenated fats like those processed fats. So hopefully that helped. Send a comment. Feel free to send questions. I love talking about this stuff. Till next time, guys, I'm out.